What's up, everybody? Sir Arnold here, and I'm very excited to share to all of you the new educational videos that I will make for this time. This is intended for all students in senior high school in the Philippines. Now, like and share my YouTube channel for some videos. Hi, hello. Welcome back to my second topic in Philippine politics and governance. And welcome back as subscriber in my YouTube channel. Para sa pagkakataon pong ito, magpapasalamat muna ako sa mga nag-like ng video nating una. At muli, hihingi po ako ng pagkakataon na i-like and share our video. This is I Am Educado. I'm Sir Arnold, your online teacher. Now, let's go with our lesson 2. It's all about political ideologies. In political ideologies, let's start with a simple quotes from Martin Amis. According to him, to be clear, ideology is a belief system with an inadequate basis in reality. Religion is a belief system with no basis in reality or so whatever. According to Benito Mussolini, Benito Mussolini po ay isa sa mga leader sa Italy. According to him, fascism should more approximately be called corporatism because it's a merger of state and corporate power, according to him. Next, alright. Now, those views of point ng mga naunang tao ay tungkol sa topic nating political ideology. Let's start with the word political ideology or the word ideology. Actually, kung i-dissect natin ang word ng ideology, it came from the word idea. And logy means study. Therefore, the simple and basic meaning ng ideology ay study of ideas. And according to Anton de Tracy in 1754 from 1836, according to him, during the French Revolution, ginamit niya ang term na ideology in 1796. According to him, it's a new science of ideas, literal idea and logy. Therefore, ideology becomes a political weapon to condemn or criticize to opposing arrays of ideas or belief system. Ginagamit siya bilang panlaban sa isa pang idea na hindi nagugustuhan ng mga tao. Example, ang idea niya, dapat itapon ng basura sa loob ng bahay. Ako naman, ang idea ko, itapon ng basura sa labas ng bahay. Pagdedebatihan yan, pag-uusapan, at kung ano man ang mapipili na idea, yun ang susundin ng karamihan. Which is yung pasok sa unang topic natin noong nakaraan na tungkol ito sa pag-ask sa opinion ng mga tao. Now, let's go with the distinguished ideologies from ideas. According to Macreadis in Rani, 1995. First, ideology ng ideas is it should be comprehensive or meron siyang comprehensiveness. An ideology ideas pertaining many great matters. Dapat malawak ang sakop niya. Dapat lahat ng iba pang ideas ay covered niya, interconnected. Kailangan may connection to each other. Yun ang comprehensiveness. Next, pervasiveness. The set of ideas has not only been known for a long time, but has shaped the political ideas and actions of many people. Dapat, pag sinabi nating ideology or gagamit tayo ng ideas, kailangan po hindi lang to matagal na idea. It should be covering the culture, the tradition na nagpabago at nagpaunlad sa isang society. At ito na yung sinusunod ng mga maraming tao. Next distinguished characteristic is extensiveness Extensiveness refers to the set of ideas is held by a large number of people and plays a vital role in nations and states' political affairs. Therefore, na-extend siya. Ginagamit siya ng maraming tao, pinaniniwalaan ng maraming tao, at itong idea na to ay malaki ang role para sa pagpapaunlad ng ating society for the betterment of the nation. Now, let's go with the characteristics of ideology. First is, ideology have their levels and it always ends in ISM or ism. Behaviorism, etc. Madami yan. Next characteristic, ideology provide an explanation for problems that confronts modern society by providing futuristic vision. Therefore, ang ideology ay sagot sa kasalukuyang problema at tulong para sa future. It's a vision. Ano ang nakikita kapag ginamit ang idea na to? Balik tayo sa isang example ko kanina. Ang idea ko ay itapon ang basura sa labas ng bahay. Ano ang magiging future effect nito sa amin, sa loob ng bahay? Makakatulong ba? Mabuti ba ito? Yon ang isa sa mga characteristics ng ideology. Next, ideology is an action-oriented. Hindi lang siya puros knowledge, hindi lang siya puros ideas. Kailangan po ang ideology po ay ideas put into actions. Kailangan sinasagawa ito para maging makatotohanan. Example, democracy. Paano siya magiging katotohanan kung hindi natin siya gagawin? Dapat lahat ng tao may karapatan. Karapatang bumoto, karapatang mabuhay, karapatang magkaroon ng maayos sa edukasyon, pagkain, at ma-meet ang kanyang mga basic necessities. Next, characteristic. Ideologies mobilize a large number of people. Napapasunod ng ideology yung dami ng tao. Kasi nga, ito ay pinaniniwalaan. Therefore, ito ang gumagabay sa mga tao para maging makatotohanan ang kanilang mga ideas. Those are the characteristics of ideology. Now, let's go with the features of ideology according to Haywood 2002. Number 1, it offers an account of the existing order, usually in the form of worldview. Again, worldview, malawak ang kanyang scope. Hindi lamang siya sa pamilya, hindi lamang siya sa isang lugar, kundi isang bansa, isang lugar na maraming tao na governed by a government. Sinusunod ito para maging gabay. Next feature is it advances a model of the desired future, a vision of the good society. Lahat naman ng ideologies, ang kanyang target ay magkaroon ng good society. Next, number 3 feature, it explains how political change can and should be brought about, how to get from the two other features. Dito po, sa feature na to, kailangan magamit siya sa politika, magamit siya sa pagpapaunlad ng ating gobyerno para sa ikakabuti ng mga mamamayan or ng madlang people. Those are the features of ideology. Next. Now, let's go with the intellectual components of an ideology. Ano ba meron sa loob ng ideology? Ano ba itong pinag-uusapan natin? Ideas lang ba ito? Yun na ba yun? Hindi. Ito ay dapat naglalaman ng mga sumusunod. Number 1, values. Dapat meron siyang kaugalian. It covers the society. It covers the culture, tradition. It covers the spirit of the nation. Next, the vision of the ideal policy. Again, vision. When we say vision, anong nakikita sa future? Pag ginamit itong idea na to, makikinabang ba ang future ng mga tao? Ano ang kakalabasan nito sa future? Next, number 3, the conception of the human nature. Dapat makatao. Dapat para sa tao. Dapat para sa kalagayan ng mga tao. Number 4, the strategy of action. Siyempre, ulitin ko kanina, ideas should be put into actions para maging makatotohanan. Anong plano? Hindi lamang, ay may idea ko, that's it. No. Dapat po, ang idea ay maging action. What's the plan? Step-by-step planning to achieve the better result. Last one, the fifth intellectual component is the political tactics. Actually, konektado to sa number 4 na strategy of action. Kasi kung maayos ang strategy mo, yung tactic or technique mo para sa political affairs will be positive result. Kasi kung maayos ka magplano, mapapasunod mo ang mga tao gamit ang government na in-establish natin. And those are the intellectual components of an ideology. Now, let's go with the function of ideology. Ano nga ba ang kanyang role? Para saan to? Ba't ba natin to pinag-aaralan? Number 1, ideology addresses a basic human psychological needs. Mental needs. Diba? Dapat iisipin ng tao na masaya siyang nabubuhay sa society because the government can provide their needs. And one of the needs is the psychological needs. Isipin ng tao na masarap mabuhay sa society na to kasi merong maayos ng trabaho, safe ako, etc. Diba? May sapat na pagkain, merong maayos na edukasyon. Yun yung nasa mind ng tao, and we want to live in a better society. Number 2, ideology provides its believers with a sense of understanding and with clues about what kind of things should pay attention. Dito naman, sa number 2, kailangan ng ideology, yung kanyang mga followers and believers, ay naiintindihan kung ano ba ang focus. Example, democracy. Siyempre, ang focus natin ay karapatan na magdesisyon ng mga tao. That's it. Number 3, ideology is essential. It's basic. Pangangailangan. So, therefore, part talaga siya ng ating government. Next, eto po, number 4. Function of the ideology is power. Of course, ang laki ng influence ng idea, ng ideology sa mga tao. Therefore, it can manipulate the people. Mapapasunod niya mga tao gamit ang idea na to kasi may nakukuha ang mga tao out of this idea. Now, let's go with the societal roles of ideology. Ano ba ang role ito sa society? Number 1, ideologies answer eternal questions and cut off competing beliefs and values. Siya ang sumasagot sa walang katapusang katanungan. Kasi nga, paikot-ikot lang yun. Ang ending lagi nun ay ang ideology. The idea that governs the government. Number 2, ideologies explain how the universe works and why it works that way. Ito rin na magpapaliwanag kung paano naganap, paano in-execute, paano sinagawa. Yan ang kasagutan dyan. Number 3, ideologies tell us how to behave. They help us predict the future. Ito yung parang gamot para mapakalma tayo. Kasi, ang tao ay maraming gusto, maraming nais, maraming naiisip. And these ideologies help us to limit the things na gagawin natin. Kasi kung may gusto tayong idea pero hindi naman tama, syempre, it against the law. Therefore, papasok si ideology. Binibigyan niya tayo ng discipline. Ginagawa niya tayong behave in order for us to achieve a better result in our future. And those are the societal roles of ideology. Malaking tulong, di ba po? Now, let's go with different kinds of ideology. Number 1, liberalism. Actually, left siya. Bakit left? Kasi nanggaling siya sa left side ng mundo. United States and the other countries. Liberalism derived from the Latin word liber, which means free men or malayang mga tao. In short, walang slaves, walang mayaman. It's a view that sees more change and improvement in societal relations involvement. Ito yung lahat tayo pantay-pantay. Walang nakakalamang. Actually, marami siyang set of values and beliefs. Number 1, individualism. Individualism is a belief of the individual over social group or collective body. Ito yung paniniwala na bilang isang tao ay may magagawa ka. Number 2, freedom, kalayaan. The importance of individualism, konektado sa number 1, leads naturally to commitment to individual freedom. Meron tayong karapatan bilang isang tao. Number 3, reason. The power of reason gives human beings the capacity to take charge of their own lives and fashion their own destinies. Hinahayaan niya tayo sa liberalism na mabuhay mag-isa, magdesisyon para sa sarili natin. Number 4, justice. Dito sa number 4, sa justice ay it's a moral standard of fairness and impartiality. Lahat ng mga nagkakamali, may pagkakataong madinig ang kanilang side. At lahat naman ng tama at naargabyado ay may karapatan ding madinig ang kanilang side. That's justice. Number 5, toleration. It's the willingness to accept views or actions with which one is in disagreement. Ito naman yung kabaliktaran ng justice halos. Ito naman yung pag-accept ng views ng ibang tao. Pero, minsan, nagkakaroon ng disagreement or pagtatalo. Pero that's part of individualism. Kasi part nga siya ng liberalism. We have two kinds of liberalism. First is classical liberalism. According to Haywood, it's a belief in negative freedom. The start is regarded at best as necessary evil, have a broadly positive view of civil society. Lahat nakafocus sa tao. Next is the neoliberalism. Supposes the states are constantly interacting with each other and that they value cooperation as part of their own interest. Baliktad, di ba? Kasi sa classical liberalism, focus lang siya sa isa. Sa tao lang mismo, sa isang tao. In neoliberalism, nakafocus naman ito sa cooperation that results to the interest ng lahat. It focus ng pare-parehas ng interest ng lahat. Baliktad. As of now, mas peak or ginagamit ng mga tao ngayon ang neoliberalism. Number 2, conservatism. Actually, conservatism galing to sa right, therefore right side of the world, Asian countries. The term conservatism derived from the conservation. Pag sinabi kasing conservative, di ba dapat hindi masyadong malaya, sakto lang, hindi siya nakikitaan ng kung ano-ano. Actually, this conservatism is a political philosophy that tends to support the status quo and advocates change only in moderation according the value of tradition. Dito, mas pinapahalagaan ng kultura, tradisyon ng mga tao. Kasi, yun ang kanilang mahalagang component sa kanilang lugar. Next, number 3, socialism. Socialism derived from the word socialis in Latin. Social meaning to combine or to share. It's actually, itong socialism, political ideology din siya, and at the same time, siya rin ay economic ideology because yung kayamanan ng bawat isa ay bahagi ng government. Example, walang mayaman, walang mahirap. Lahat yan ay pagmamay-ari ng government. Yun. Therefore, the government is the owner of all shares in the country or the state. Na medyo parang dictatorship ang style, but in China ginagamit ang socialism. Ito, according to this person from Erich Fromm, the supreme principle of socialism is that man takes precedence over things, life over property, and hence work over capital, that power follows creation and not possession, that man must not be governed by circumstances but circumstances must be governed by man. Actually, marami na rin naman ang medyo hindi nagugustuhan ng socialism. But still, may mga bansa pa rin sumusunod sa socialism. We have distinctive ways of understanding socialism para mas malinawan tayo. Socialism is seen as economic model. Yan po, nasabi ko na yan. Kasi government ang may control sa lahat ng properties. Socialism as an instrument of the labor movement, ginagamit siya para mapatakbo ang mga manggagawa. Socialism as political crowd encompasses community, cooperation, equality, class politics, and collective ownership. Hindi lang naman sinabing property ng government, pero property ng lahat ng mamamayan. Pero ang humahawak lamang ay ang government. Kasi from the word itself, government, it governs the property of the people. Therefore, lahat pantay-pantay, equality. May pantay-pantay na kayamanan, equal na shares, equal na cooperation, at equal na class politics. That's the distinctive ways of socialism. Next, we have the social democracy. It's a moderate or reformist brand of socialism that favor a balance between the market and the state. Dito po, sa ideology na to, nakafocus to sa bansa at sa ekonomiya. Kasi, yung mga pagbabago na gaganap ay laging, halimbawa, may gustong sabihin ng mga mamamayan, ito ay papakinggan ng gobyerno. At babaguhin na naman nila ang kanilang mga nakasanayan. It favors the balance nga po eh. Balance. Hindi lang nasusunod ang government, but it also lend an ear to the people. 5. Communism. Communism is an economic, social, and political system seeking government ownership of the mean production and services. Sa communism naman, medyo focus po ito sa pagmamay-ari talaga ng government. Lahat ng production and services ay sa government. Number 6, fascism. Derived from fasces, an Italian word which means a bundle of rods with band axe blade protruding that signified the authority of magistrates in imperial Rome. It's a kind of movement that stands for outmoded, repressive social and political conditions, rejecting democracy, and repudiates constitutionalism. Lahat ng gagawin ng government nakabatay sa Constitution. And aside from that, dito, dineneglect niya ang democracy. Ang nasusunod talaga ay government. Hindi pwedeng mapakinggan ang mga tao in this ideology. Now, let's go with the features of fascism. Actually, totalitarianism siya. From the word totalitarianism, total control. Hawak niya ang legislative, judicial, pati yung executive. Sila gumagawa ng batas, sila nagpapatupad ng batas, at sila din yung hukom. Anti-liberalism, it neglects or it contradicts the first ideology because doon sa liberalism, di ba, free men. But this time, hindi. Government ang nasusunod. Next, it also connected with militarism. Yan. Makikita mo talaga na ang mga tao, ang mga sundalo ang makikita na nakapalibot sa mga tao. Lagi silang nakakalat at nakabantay. Siyempre, pag may nagkamali, it leads to violence at a-action ang mga militar. Next, it also covers leadership because yung leader talaga dito ay talagang may strong leadership kasi hawak niya lahat eh. Totalitarianism, di ba? Hawak niya lahat. And therefore, dapat magaling siyang leader. Yan. Sometimes, para siyang dictatorship kasi it covers the total control of all units of the government. Next, religious fundamentalism. Religious fundamentalism, actually, it covers the religion. The word fundamentalism is taken from Latin word fundamental, meaning base. It is associated with inflexibility, dogmatism, authoritarianism, or worse, violence. Dito naman sa religious fundamentalism, ito'y uri ng ideology na religion ang ginagamit para ma-unite ang mga tao, para mapasunod ang mga tao. The following are the themes of religious fundamentalism. Number 1 is religion as politics. See? Religion as politics. Religion as politics, therefore, ginagamit talaga siya bilang politika. Kung sino ang leader nila, kung sino ang religious leader, siya rin ang political leader. The fundamentalist impulse, anti-modernism. It advocates conservatism. Ayaw niya yung mga pagbabagong moderno. Kailangan nakapokus sila sa old ways. And military style, kasi by the book, by the Bible, kung yun ang ginagamit nila, or by their holy book. Feminism. Feminism derived from the Latin word femina, which means women or female, concerned with attainment of gender equality in the political, economic, and social spheres of life. Actually, this ideology, feminism, focus talaga siya sa babae during the classical period. Babae ang binibigyan ng importance kasi kung babalikan natin yung mga naunang panahon, lalaki ang leader, lalaki ang boss, but this time, binibigyan na ng karapatan ang mga babae na maging bahagi ng edukasyon, ng eleksyon, at maging leader ng society natin. But this modern period, nagbago ang feminism. It also covers the other genders. These genders, yung LGBTQIA, pasok na rin siya sa ideology ng feminism. Therefore, this is from Margie. Feminism is a struggle to end exist oppression. Therefore, it's necessarily a struggle to eradicate the ideology of domination that permeates Western culture on various levels, as well as a commitment to the recognizing society so that the self-development of people can take precedence over imperialism, economic expansion, and material desires. Diba? Nagbago na talaga ang society ngayon. Another ideology, I think this is the last ideology, environmentalism. It's a kind of ideology focusing on the idea of environment. That environment is already endangered and must be preserved through regulation and lifestyle change. Therefore, ito po yung ideology na nagpoprotekta sa pagkasira ng ating environment. Nakapokus na siya sa kung ano-anong ways how to protect and preserve our nature. Like for example, nagkakaroon na ng mga bayanihan sa pagtatanim, green culture, lahat yan ay bahagi ng environmentalism. Now, for our references, again, it's from Tabahin and Pulma, Philippine Politics and Governance, Joven, Philippine Politics and Governance for Senior High School, some newspapers, and Google Images from google.com. And here's my email address. If you want to have a copy of the PowerPoint, you can make an email at arnoldryanmercado@gmail.com. You can also like my Facebook page, I am Educado. That's the link. And last one, like also my YouTube channel. That's the link for some educational videos. Again, this is Sir Arnold, your I am Educado teacher. Goodbye everyone, and thank you for listening for our topic number 2 in Philippine Politics and Governance.